Despite being deaf and not being able to hear myself, I can probably do a passable, fairly good job of explaining the moronic situation involving Seattle being puppeteered by Trumpy Tune by way of the illusion that Biden isn't in on what Trumpy Tune has done. And many people in Seattle were in on it from both sides. But to look at what really is going on, you look at Noam Chomsky's explanation for state symbols like Nixon and what he calls the corporate state nexus. He says that they're not important, these state figures. They're disposable, they're expendable, they're, image and on display, but when it's no longer useful, they cut ties and let it go. You look at the Johnstown situation to understand this. It exists with the Republican Party's refusal to get vaccinated, which isn't a protest of the fact that it was a pepper virus to begin with. It's because they want people to, swami surrender to this outrage. They claimed our grannies and patriotically take your chances with it, This Johnstown situation, these people are friendly to the perpetrators. So to understand the way that the state corporate nexus plays yo-yimbo, meaning they pick off one, then they pick off the other. You have to understand that some of the victims were friendly. Senator Hines was friendly to the people who killed him. But it gives Teresa Hines and her syphilitic honchos this idea that it's justice to kill Searcy Kennedy, and this is how they go shopping. And they're sympathetic to the people who killed one or the other. It doesn't really matter. Whereas other people might not be sympathetic, but they serve the purposes and the ends of the Oyembo pendulum that swings back and forth. Now, in a normal democratic society, people don't go along with these Swami Nostra scoundrels who are all organized through, Catholic worker. There must be Catholic workers in Johnstown because there are Catholic workers in Seattle. And the Green Party. People who were in on the COVID bomb, but they were also licky chops for the spoils. We're strong. We're the ones who are going to survive. We're smart. We're the ones who are going to get the vaccine. So you have the situation where, justice, police and detective work is deterred by simply saying, well, we zapped that one. We zapped that one and we'll zap again. And the thing is that, this is giving the upper hand to lunatics, and they say, oh, well, it's a holy war from John Lennon's sacred Shimish, the lunatics. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with justice or equity. They claim it's justice and equity when they kill their own friends, and then they kill people who are not friendly to that idea of killing your own friends to balance the budget when you killed somebody who was not friendly to you, but not hostile to you. It's all unprovoked. This business about attacking me blindside as a child, that Paul McCartney dreamed up calling a duel. How does he get that's a duel? A child who's deaf walking to school gets hit from behind. That's a duel from the point of view of Penis McCartney. I mean, it's really bizarre, but it's the function of the corporate state nexus that Noam Chomsky describes in a pussyball game of yo-yimbo. I've done my best to explain this before, but, if you look at it, they'll sacrifice anyone. They say, oh, well, we have a blood card rating that's different than yours. Well, that's how life is. They say, well, we want to balance the budget on your blood card rating. And this has taken over the schools. They closed the schools. It's taken over corrections. It's taken over the clinics. It's taken over UW Harborview, took over the bank. They had a woman named Wiswell. What do you think that means? It means if you don't like us, we'll poison your urinary tract. That's the way they think. And then they just their mind just impeaches, we'll just zap that one and we'll zap this one. And it's all syphilis. Modern management from the point of view of these people who Ringo Starr put together as spiders from Mars, you know. It's sickening, it's illicit, it's brazen, it's in cold blood, and they just picked off 3 or 4 Kennedys since the COVID, you know, monstrosity. And they have the upper hand. They're from our schools, but they closed those schools. And the only way to get it back from them is for stupid people like the gangsters at the Nation newspaper who've been trying to let me talk, get it together to understand who these people are and what they did. It's the only way, any prospect at all of stopping them. Otherwise, they're just going to do it. They're just going to do it again. And one of the things that's intractable about this is they've pushed ahead to climate change. You got to get barking out about climate change, says the neo-Nazi leader. He doesn't want to talk about Austrian politics. That's Schwarzenegger. Because he wants to focus on climate change. Well, that's his contribution to the Austrian right wing, is to say, climate change, we're going to scorch the world if you don't follow our plans, follow our package. We have to understand who these morons are and put a stop to them. We do have to work on climate change, but we also have to investigate the AIDS attack. It's not one or the other. Don't go going around saying ecology is ground for genocide, because I'm not gig with that. Take my fucking name off of that script, Robert Fripp. Don't come give me money to sign my name to it. Take my name off it and keep it off it and keep your fucking money.